Welcome back once again. In our previous session, we discussed about the RAM, that is the random access memory. This is the first type of the primary memory. In this session, we will look at the other type of the primary memory called the ROM. ROM stands for the read-only memory. From its name, it is a type of primary memory from which we can only read but cannot write on it. The read-only memory is a type of primary memory where data has been pre-recorded, meaning the information is stored permanently in such memories during manufacturing. With us is an example of the ROM. This is how the computer ROM looks like. Now, unlike the RAM, the read-only memory is a non-volatile memory. This means that data stored in the ROM is retained even after the power is cut off, or let's say when the computer is turned off. With this non-volatile nature, the ROM stores instructions for the bootstrap operation, which is always referred to the process of starting up a computer. In its application, the ROM chips are not only used as firmware and microcontroller in computers, but are also used in other electronics items, such as the washing machines, the microwaves, and the ovens. Now, like the RAM, the ROM also comes in various classes or types. We have 5 types of the ROM, namely the MROM, the PROM, the EPROM, the EEPROM, and the flash memory. Let us go through each of these types and discover how they work to achieve their tasks. We will begin with the MROM. These are what we call the masked ROMs. They are the first and the oldest types of ROMs. These were hardwired devices that contained a pre-programmed set of data or instructions done by the IC. IC stands for the Integrated Circuits Manufacturer. Therefore, the masked ROM is not a user-programmable type of ROM, as it cannot be modified, reprogrammed, or erased. Now, something amazing that you will want to know is that the word mask. Now, mask is a process in the integrated circuit of fabrication. And since the process is costly, the MROM is used only when the needed volume is high, and that it is absolutely certain that the contents will not change. This is because once it is pre-programmed or it is programmed by the manufacturer, you cannot change its contents. Despite that disadvantage, the MROM also has an advantage. An advantage of the MROM is that it is cheaper. Compared to the other kinds of ROM. However, if an error in the data or code is found, then the entire batch of the MROM must be thrown away. We will move to the second type of the ROM, that is the PROM. PROM stands for the Programmable Read-Only Memory. It is a type of the ROM that can be programmed or modified, but only once by a user. In this type of read-only memory, a user buys a blank PROM and enters his or her desired contents using a PROM program. Inside the PROM chip, there are small fuses which are burnt open during the programming. Therefore, this type of read-only memory, once programmed, it cannot be erased. The PROM is used in cell phones, video games, that is the video games consoles, and the medical devices, among other applications. Third, we have the EPROM. EPROM stands for the Erasable and Programmable Read-Only Memory. Therefore, this type of read-only memory can be reprogrammed and erased any number of times. Now, to briefly discuss about this read-only memory, during programming, that is, during its programming, an electric charge is trapped in an insulated gate region. The charge is then retained for more than 10 years because the charge will have no leakage path. This is done by the use of the EPROM programmer, and with us is an example of how the EPROM programmer looks like. Now, when it comes to erasing this type of read-only memory, we erase the charge. And this is done by passing an ultraviolet light through a quartz crystal window or the lid. This exposure to the ultraviolet light dissipates the charge. We all know that during the normal use, the quartz lid is always sealed with a sticker. Therefore, an EEPROM can be erased and reprogrammed by exposing it to ultraviolet light for a duration of up to 40 minutes. For its application, the EPROM is used in some microcontrollers to store programs. After looking at the EPROM, we will now look at the fourth type of ROM, that is the EEPROM. The EEPROM stands for the Electrically Erasable and Programmable Read-Only Memory. This type of ROM is programmed and erased electrically. It can be erased and reprogrammed about 10,000 times in about 5 to 10 milliseconds. Any location in this EEPROM can be selectively erased and programmed. This now comes to the point that the process of reprogramming is flexible but slow, because this type of ROMs can be erased 1 byte at a time rather than erasing the entire chip. Mark that, as we will use it to compare with our next type of ROM. With us here is an EEPROM programmer that is used to program and erase the EEPROM. For its application, the BIOS of a computer is stored in this type of ROM, that is the EEPROM. We will now look at the final type of the ROM, that is the flash memory. This is an advanced version of the EEPROM, and it is a non-volatile memory that erases data in units called blocks. Yes, unlike the EEPROM that we have just seen previously, it erases and rewrites data at byte level, that is, 1 byte of data at a time. Therefore, the flash memory is a bit faster than the EEPROM. An advantageous characteristic of the flash memory is that it has a higher degree of durability, as it can bear high temperatures and intensive pressures. For its application, the flash memory is used in USB flash drives, digital cameras, modems, and other applications. We have now gone through the 5 types of the ROMs, and after that brief discussion on the introduction to the ROM and its 5 types or the 5 classes, we can now draw some of the advantages of the ROM. The ROM is non-volatile in nature, meaning data stored in the ROM is retained even after the computer is turned off. This is advantageous because you cannot lose your data, you cannot lose your information, unlike in the random access memory, which is a volatile memory, that when power goes off or when the computer goes off, your data is lost. That comes to our second advantage, that the read-only memories are more reliable than the RAMs. Another advantage is that the read-only memory is static. That is, its data cannot be accidentally changed and it does not require refreshing. From the word read-only memory, this type of memory allows users to only read from it but cannot write on it. This will avoid the accidental changing of the data in this type of memory. Now, since the contents of the read-only memory are always programmed once, their contents are always known and can be verified. Unlike in the random access memory, where the contents keep on changing, as it allows for the random access, random reading, and random writing on it. Unlike the RAMs, the read-only memories are cheaper and they are easy to test. Those are some of the advantages of the ROM. We will talk about more of these advantages, or we will talk about more of these advantages when we will look at the differences between these two primary memories, that is the random access memory and the read-only memory. We have now discussed about the second type of the primary memory, that is the read-only memory. I hope you have learned something today about the ROM, and in case of any questions, feel free to type your questions on the comment section so that we may get to discuss them one by one. Thank you.